Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 1 p.m. Central Time Zones. I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Again, it's always such a fun ride. You can find us on television syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com, all the social media sites there, facebook.com/DFiesel, where we've been doing that for many, many years. And you can also continue sending emails. I definitely appreciate that. I love it. And so does AP Steadham. Donna at donnasedge.com. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. AP Steadham, our sports guy, is with us right now. And wow, we're getting into a really, really busy season.
Yeah, Donna, we're starting this football this coming weekend. There's a game one game I know particularly is Stanford plays at Hawaii, and there's a handful of games, literally a handful of games to start the college football season. But the main start of football begins the following weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about that. You know, a lot of folks are some are happy and some are not so happy about the top five. But what are your thoughts on the top five?
Yeah, Donna, I think it's fun to discuss the top five before the season arrives, and it gives everyone a chance to have a conversation about their favorite football team and how they view the season. So it's really just at this point, many years ago, it really was derived from having a top 5, top 10, top 25, from letting everybody know that college football would be upon us soon, and it would start the conversations. Mm-hmm. So now it's just a formality and fun, really, because the College Football Playoff Committee, they select their own top 25, and that's what matters the most. But during the season, I'm part of the Football Writers Association of America. We have a Super 16 poll, comes out every week. And so I have to vote the top 16 teams for the Football Writers Association of America. So I'm glad to be part of that group from my very first time. And so I'm looking forward to ranking the teams, and people can get a chance to view my list. And then we have about 50 people, and then they have a compilation of everybody's list, and they come up with the Super 16 poll, the Football Writers Association of America, and the National Football Foundation.
Well, we're glad you're there. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now let's say your top 5 compared to the other folks who have a top 5.
Yeah, top 5. Let me see if I can remember this off the top of my head, Donna. I had Penn State number 1 because they have a lot of people returning, especially their quarterback, 2 running backs that had 1,000 yards. They refined their wide receiving core by bringing in 3 transfers, so that will improve that situation. And they made the college football playoffs, and they didn't even have top caliber wide receivers. So I think that area will improve for them. Always play good defense. Their coach knows how to win. He has difficulty against Ohio State and Michigan, usually the top teams in the Big Ten. But I think this year he's going to beat one of them or both of them. He's going to make the playoffs, and he's going to have his chance to see if his team can carry him to the national championship. So I have Penn State number 1. I believe I had Texas number 2. I think I had Texas number 2. They have Arch Manning and company. Steve Sarkisian is a good offensive quarterback, good offensive coach. He's been able to get his teams in the playoffs last couple of seasons. They haven't played for the championship yet, but there's a possibility. And then I had number 3, I think it was Clemson. I really believe Cade Klubnik made a dramatic improvement from last year as the quarterback for Clemson. And they have a good defense, good set of wide receivers and running backs, tight ends. And Dabo Swinney, he's a coach who knows how to win. Won a couple of championships, already national championships. And then number 4, I think I had, I believe I had maybe Georgia. Georgia, Donna, they keep telling people they did not have a particularly good year on offense. The receivers led the nation in a category that you do not want to be a part of for a second year. Drop passes. Receivers drop passes. That's not good. And then, Donna, they were in the 90s or so, around 100 in rushing, which is uncharacteristic of a Kirby Smart team. He likes to be strong at the point of attack and be able to run the football. So Georgia. And then from my 5th team, I think I might have had might have had Ohio State in there, I think. Ohio State. They have a good program, of course, recruit nationally. Ryan Day is an excellent coach, won the national championship last year. They'll have a good quarterback. Julian Sayin, I think the transfer from Alabama will be the starter, I believe. They have Jeremiah Smith, who I consider one of the top, if not the top football player in America. He's a wide receiver, big wide receiver, 6'3", 6'4", 200 plus pounds. Just an exceptional playmaker that you can rely on in big games. He plays very well against the top team. So that by memory, I think that's my top 5. So slightly different, I think, because some people have Texas or Ohio State number 1. I had Penn State.
Absolutely. Now, this is from from a South Carolina fan. So you can imagine what the question is for you.
Yes.
Why would you choose Clemson over South Carolina?
Right. Well, right now, Clemson has the stronger overall team, even though South Carolina beats them. Shane Beamer's had success against Clemson. And you could tell the South Carolina fan, I will be covering the first game. Virginia Tech will play South Carolina in Atlanta. I will be at that game, covering that game. So tell them to watch out on my YouTube channel at AP As We See It for all the interviews and the photos on my Facebook and Instagram and X account. So you could check that out for the South Carolina Virginia Tech game to be held in Atlanta, the Chick-fil-A Classic.
You always get really, really close, but I wanted to say one thing, and this is to that South Carolina fan. It's still early on. We haven't a lot of these folks together yet, and that's going to change dramatically just after the first game. Yeah, you have, for instance, Texas travels to Ohio State. Those are 2 teams I had in the top 5, and most people have in the top 5. They're competing against each other. You're going to have Clemson playing LSU, hosting LSU, big ball game. You have Syracuse and Tennessee playing in Atlanta on that Saturday, the day before South Carolina and Virginia Tech get together. So, yeah, you'll have some of these these teams in the top 25 actually head-to-head matchups, and so somebody's going to have a loss to start the season. So, yeah, South Carolina, they hold their own fate in their hands. If they win all their ball games, they'll be in the playoffs, or can get to 10-2, let's say, they'll be in the playoffs. So South Carolina people, you don't really care much about the preseason poll. You want them to be in the actual poll when the season starts. I mean, it's nice to be in the preseason poll. It's nice to not have to start from the bottom and work your way up, but that's fine because South Carolina is in a Power 4 league, the SEC, and they win ball games and beat these teams, they're going to move right up the totem pole. Oh yeah, definitely. I want to tell this South Carolina fan this. Okay, if you've ever had a business and when you hire an employee, you think they're going to do really, really good. You think you got it figured out, but then when they get on the job and then comparing them to other employees, things do change. So we've seen that happen a lot. We've seen, haven't seen Auburn very high in the polls in the past few years. No, they've struggled. Auburn has struggled. They're trying to have a breakout year with the transfer quarterback Jackson Arnold from the University of Oklahoma. He's from Texas. I think he's around Denton, Texas. So, and Oklahoma host Auburn. That'll be a game. I'm supposed to be at that game. Hopefully, that'll be a big storyline. Jackson Arnold returns to his former team, the Sooners. Let's look at South Carolina for a minute. They start with Virginia Tech, then they play South Carolina State, Vanderbilt. They'll play in Columbia. You got to watch out for that. Vanderbilt, down as we know, they can upset you. And then they have to go to the Columbia and Missouri. So those first 4 games, and then they have Kentucky at home. So those first 5 games, they have some challenges. And if they can get through that first 5 undefeated, they'll be off to a great start. Absolutely. Let's talk Vanderbilt for a few minutes because we did have quite a few Vanderbilt fans chime in this time. Yeah, Vanderbilt. Go ahead. Why are you not seeing them higher? Is there something that has changed in the lineup this year versus last year? Yeah, well, I think they have the great combination there. Eli Stower's the tight end, one of the best tight ends in the country, and Diego Pavia. He's a winning quarterback. Not very big. He's not flashy with his stats or impressive physically, but he knows how to win ball games. So Vanderbilt, they're looking to continue their winning ways. They start out with Charleston Southern. That should be a win for them. Don't take anybody for
Granted, because last year I think Georgia State beat them, had that upset, so that was really and they play Georgia State this year in Nashville, the fourth game, so that's circled, I'm sure. But they traveled to Blacksburg to play Virginia Tech, and then they have to play South Carolina, as I said, in Columbia, and then the fourth game is Georgia State. So I think Vanderbilt right now, if they can go 3-1 those first four games, they would be very happy. They want to go 4-0, of course, but I think if they reach that 3-1 mark, they'll be satisfied to start the season. And then they host Utah State, a game they can win, and that's in Nashville. So those first 5 games, if they can be 4-1 or better, they're going to be very happy.
I think so. And then also the next season, the following year, I think they'll have enough, if they keep doing what they did last year,
yes.
with ranks as well.
Yeah, get a quarterback, and they'll acquire talent through the transfer portal like everyone else. Vanderbilt can compete, and they have good coaching. And Donna, when everything is so competitive now, more than ever, just like the NFL, coaching is going to play a factor. Yes, you need talented players to coach, but there are decisions that will be made in recruiting in the middle of the ball game, the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, right before halftime, coming out of halftime, near the end of the game. Those coaching decisions are magnified because the games are more competitive.
Who do you consider, your opinion, who do you consider the number one coach of this coming season?
Yeah, Don, I'd like to say that in America, we have this obsession with number one, the best. But there are many good coaches. I would say this, many good coaches. So I think Ryan Day of Ohio State, he's proven he can win. He won that national championship finally with his team. I think Steve Sarkisian's a good coach. He hasn't won the championship yet. Dabo Swinney has won championships. Very good coach. And let's see if we can come up with a couple more. I think James Franklin is a good coach of Penn State, although he has trouble winning against Michigan and Ohio State, but he can win 10 games every year and more. So I think he's a very good coach. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Oh, of course, Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart, the highest paid coach in America. He's won several titles with Georgia. He revived that program that hadn't had a national championship since 1980 under Vince Dooley. So those are some of the better coaches, but Donna, there's many good coaches. Every time you take the field, you're challenged by these other people. And you find out that it's very difficult to go undefeated. Very difficult. So you have some losses along the way because they have good coaching and talented players on the other side.
Absolutely. This weekend, Phil and I met a Georgia fan because we live about 10 miles from the Georgia state line coming into South Carolina. And right here is kind of a mixture of a lot. So this guy wanted to know what team that we pulled for it. And I said, well, I've been an Auburn fan. My husband has been an Alabama fan. You know what he went? He goes, ooh. I mean, that's the first result.
Not everybody's the fan of one team. That's the fun. That's the fun to have fans from everywhere and they're rooting for their team. I tell people all the time, root for your team and have fun and enjoy the other teams as well, because that's the beauty of college athletics and sports. You're always competing and you just don't know the outcome. And not everybody's going to pull for your team. So I never thought. I always embraced the other side. I like talking to those fans, and
I'm married.
Now I talk to everybody. Yeah, you married one, right? So
it's like a mixed marriage. But it brings a lot of spice to life. I really like it, and as I've told you before, this is to the new folks out there. At the beginning of the season, Phil and I shake hands because one of us is going to be mad at the other one. So we decided to go.
Yes.
Now, let's go into a commercial break, and we'll return. Is everybody hanging? Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. That's why we have A.P. Steadham with us right now. Many, many years of experience. And we did have, Michael wanted to know what your experience is and what brought you to the point you're at right now. And he said, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess it started when I was a young boy and I was introduced to the game of college football maybe around, I guess I was maybe 8 years old. I kind of remember watching the first game I ever watched, I think, was the Alabama-Texas game in the first night Orange Bowl, played at night with Joe Namath and company. So that was, I think, the first time I remember watching a college football game. So I've always enjoyed the SEC and followed it over many decades, and it's always been all the tradition and pageantry and the influx of talent and the coaches. They were always had some interesting stories. So I just grew up watching college football, the SEC particular, but I like watching it across the country. All the teams are very good, and I always like to see those rivalries between the sections of the country. That's great.
I wanted to ask you a question, and I suspect a woman wrote this one to you. Okay, so this sounds like something we would say. In light of players being paid now,
Yes.
Who do you think is the most photogenic player?
The most photogenic. See, I think I'm the last person to ask that question. I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer for that. I just couldn't tell you.
Comes to that picture, people knowing how to pose, and having
right. Most photogenic. Yeah, I don't know. I really, I'd have to study that. I really don't know.
I think you're a woman. I think you're a woman.
I think so. I think so. I believe so. Probably so.
Okay, AP, as we see it. So what's going on with your show?
Yeah, this week, Donna, we have an interesting show. A couple of big games to start this season. Auburn travels to Waco, Texas to play Baylor. They played, a handful of times, not very much. So we're going to have Zach Smith from the Waco Tribune Herald to discuss the Baylor Bears, who will be competing against the Auburn Tigers on a Friday night. That's a Friday night game, Donna, Labor Day weekend. So keep that in mind, Friday night game. And then we'll have Jeff Culhane, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Alabama travels to Tallahassee to take on Florida State. So we're going to have Jeff discuss the Florida State Seminoles, who will be competing against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. So those will be our two guests, and then I'll have a segment where I discuss a few things as well. But we're looking forward to the show, and you can check out last week's show. We discussed Notre Dame. We had a writer from the Fort Wayne paper to discuss Notre Dame. And then we had Olin Buchanan from Texags discuss Texas A&M. So, but you can check out all our shows on AP As We See It on the YouTube channel, on Spotify. Everything is archived. And check out our Facebook, our Instagram, our X account for the various interviews and pictures. This weekend, Don, I was at the New Orleans Saints game. So we had some interviews up there of the head coach and about 5 players on the YouTube channel, some photos I took as well.
That's awesome. Okay, with football making a bang, and it always does with you and me every year. I mean, we wait for the season. So, I know we're going to have quite a few games playing this weekend. If you could only pick one game to watch, what do you think is going to be the most interesting game?
Yeah, I think this opening weekend there's just a handful of games. I would try to watch the Stanford at Hawaii game. That'd be interesting for me. Yeah, Stanford has a interim coach, Frank Reich, the former Buffalo Bills quarterback, and he played at the University of Maryland, so he's coaching that team. And I think Timmy Chang is the coach of Hawaii. He was a record-setting quarterback for Hawaii. He's the head coach out there. So I would say that would be an interesting game to watch, Stanford at Hawaii.
I always ask you who you think the Cinderella team is at the beginning of the season. Who do you think it is?
Right. The Cinderella, Don, I would say we're considering a team that you thought maybe would win, let's say 8 games, maybe as Cinderella, they went 9 or 10. But if I had to look at this list, people are pointing to Oklahoma as a team to watch because they brought in John Matier, the transfer quarterback from Washington State, along with his offensive coordinator. And they brought in a very good running back, Jaden Ott. He ran for a couple 1,000 yards, caught 95 passes for the University of California. So those, I think, those are right in the top 5 of the duos that transferred to a school to make their team better. So I think Oklahoma, Brent Venables is a defensive coach. Normally he can muster up a pretty good defense, but now he has some offense, I think. which he didn't have last year. He had half a dozen receivers hurt. The quarterbacks were inconsistent and didn't perform very well. But I think now he's got a good quarterback, veteran quarterback, excellent running back, and hopefully some of his receivers stay healthy. And along with that defense, maybe Oklahoma's a team that can be resurrected.
Well, do you think Tennessee has lost their way? I mean, that was my pick for a Cinderella team, and I'm not really picking them at this point.
Yeah, Tennessee right now, they have the transfer quarterback, Joey Aguilar, played at Appalachian State for a number of years, transferred to UCLA, was there for about 5 minutes, and then the quarterback from Tennessee transferred to UCLA, so the UCLA quarterback, Joey Aguilar, who's just named the starter, transferred to University of Tennessee in Knoxville. So I think people have a wait-and-see attitude about Joey Aguilar as a quarterback, but I think he could play better than the quarterback from last year, possibly, I think, if he's just more accurate. And he's thrown for thousands of yards at Appalachian State in his career, so he's a veteran quarterback. And Josh Heupel last year was primarily the run. They had a good running back, Dylan Sampson, and a defense. So I don't know if Tennessee's are they going to reach that same level? They were in the playoffs last year, one of the 12 teams, one of the 3 teams from the SEC. So are they going to maintain that level? I'm not sure. I don't say that with certainty that they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be challenged.
Let's talk about kickers before we go. Sometimes the kicker wins the game.
Yeah, kickers are very important, especially they become more important now when I told you that these games are competitive. And so at the end of the ball game, and the coach has to make a decision, should we send out our kicker to the template, say a 55-yarder, or should we, if it's 4th and 1, do we go for it on 4th and 1, or do we send out the kicker in the waning moments of the game? So yeah, they're very important, and they can win or lose a game for you. But I would say this, Donna. When you're attempting a field goal over 50 yards, that's not a guarantee. And so if you make it and they win it, yes. But I hesitate to say they lost the game, because you could have done better and got the ball to the 40-yard line and made it or the 35 or the 30-yard line, whatever, make it a closer field goal. So yes, they're the ones making the attempt, and they make or miss, but the offense and the team has something to say about helping the kicker's chances.
And the wind and the weather. I'm just telling you, the wind, rain.
Yes, the weather. Yes, that'll affect the kick for sure.
Absolutely. Who's your number 1 kicker right now? Have you thought about that?
Oh, yeah, Don, I haven't thought about that yet, but I will. If you remind me about that, I'll get you an answer on that one. But Donna, and I always say this about kickers, Donna, I've seen kickers not miss a field goal the entire season, make every single one, and they get near the end of the year, and it's a tight ball game, and they miss. I tell people it's that day, that kick. That's what matters. It's that day, that kick. Like I said, you can make every field goal through the entire season. You come to the final game where you need the field goal to win the championship or move on to reach the playoffs or help you improve your ranking. The kicker, perfect all season, they could miss.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but we'll check on some kickers. Maybe I'll try to come up with a list for you, something top 5 kickers during the season when things start to get.
Yeah, we got to see some action first.
Yeah, we got to see some. Yeah, we got to see him perform. Right, we have to see him perform first. Yeah,
we're going to have to call it a day. AP, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you guys so much for watching. You're the reason we do all of this. You're watching Donna's Edge Television Talk Show. I'm Donna. You can find us syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue sending emails, Donna at donnasedge.com. And AP loves your emails, so continue sending those on as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.